Howdy, folks. Welcome back. Okay. All right, we're here. This is February 12th of 2023. Here's today's little box right here. It's already going into tomorrow. You can see we've had a couple little M-class solar flares, really kind of mild activity. We're at middle C, having M-class solar flares. This is where we want to be. This is normal activity in the sun, and this is good. These M flares, we don't need them too strong, so this is kind of a good report that the sun is active. It's not flatlining. It's not spiking too high. The little X flare here, I got a little gem for you on that X flare, something I've discovered. So, hello everyone in the chat. Welcome. Just getting started here. Real brief review. Here's our GOES X-ray flux for today, February the 12th. We had a couple little M flares, like I said, but what I'm looking at is this steady activity in middle C range having M-class flares. That's good. All right, even though some of them are Earth directed, that's not good, but at least they're not big, huge X flares or the sun is flatlining. Okay, so that's that report. Let's go. What the? No! This was all filled in like 10 minutes ago. Alright, guys. Sorry, I was just about to show you something shocking on this instrument, and they just scrubbed it about 15 minutes. Unbelievable. Oh, I had this new magnifying glass and everything for you guys. I was going to show you what happened today. I'm sorry. Give me a minute, you guys. Hang on. I was not expecting this. I just loaded this. It was just all there. I'm going to refresh this real quick. It's not happening. Refresh. Oh, it is happening. Okay. All right, so you know what I'm going to do? We're going to try this here anyway. Hopefully this works. Let me try. No, doesn't appear to gonna work. All right, so never mind. I'm going to take the camera out like I usually do, and I'm going to point out something that's still there that was a copy of what I was going to show you happen today. Okay, here we are. We're worried about 8 hertz right here. Okay, I already explained how this works. This is the cooling on the shell, creating the electromagnetic field that hums at 7.8 hertz. That's this line right. That's this line right here. I gotta hold the camera still. Okay, so I want you to look closely at that line right here. Do you see how faint it gets? Do you see how weak it almost stops right there? We want a nice, strong, fuzzy line like here, okay? These are little screeches. This is where they put the brakes on. This is where the core and the shell screeched a little bit on each other. And right here, oh, here it is. Here's part of it that I want to show you. In between these two screeches, look at how our hertz level in the 7.83 kind of dimmed a little bit. We don't want dark patches in this line. Okay, there are some pretty good dark patches, a few different sections in today's that look just like this, okay? And I will have to go into archives and find it if they ever replace it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't believe they... Well, I can. They must be watching me. They knew I was about to report on this when I loaded it, and they scrubbed it. All right. Anyways, that's okay. It's not what I wanted to focus on tonight anyways, folks. So I'm trying to just kill a little time here with the regular report, get some more people in the chat, get them all on board before I start explaining stuff. You people that are already here, I talked about our 10 effects list that I gave you. And if you have your list, you need to pull it out and get a pen and paper. For those of you who don't have the list yet, I'm going to be reviewing it and going over that list so you can write it down. So you people get your pens and papers ready for this next little segment here. And in the meantime, let's come over here. Wait, real quick, I want to show you. today's, there wasn't much activity, but here we are. Oh, whoopsie, wrong day. Right there. Okay, let this load up real quick. Not much to see. There was a small object captured right there. Okay, I would zoom in and show it to you, but there's not much to see. You can see by the motion. I've showed you plenty of times what to look for. That's just a small one. Not much to see. Okay, I got other stuff that's more important that we got to move forward with. Okay, so now what I want to start on next is what the title of this video is. This event that happened on the sun up at the northern hemisphere, the sun up here at the top, all right? They want to call this a polar vortex, okay? Fine, it's around the pole, it's a vortex. But what's going on here is something a little bit different. And I go into it and explain it to you here in just a second, and you'll see why I call it a solar crown now, okay? So when we went through that list, there was all sorts of side effects to look for. And of those side effects, this is one, and I'll explain how in just a little bit here. So let's go to the list, all right? Now, I got this list of side effects from good old Ben here, okay? This is the scientific community admitting what they've discovered, okay? Now, I'm talking about the grinding of the core in the shell of the Earth, bringing the core to a stop, all right? That's a side effect from something interacting with our sun. Our sun's causing this. So, I need to know what's going on with the sun and what's going on with other planets. If the sun's doing this, it should be affecting other planets. Well, it is. And Ben is going to give you a report on this. And I want you to, I'll stop it and you can take notes as we go through this little list here. All right, so let's get started. Let me get my volume going. Let me make sure you guys can hear this correctly. Because last time...
You can easily find where to look at the changes on the other planets that we have been tracking, but getting a lot of questions about the changes on the sun. So let's start from the outer solar system and move our way in.
Okay, so here we're going to start with our list. We're starting from the outer solar system and move our way in. But first, he's going to talk about the sun a little bit. So at the top of your list, title this list signs, okay? Because that's exactly what these are signs, okay? So the title of your list is signs. The subtitle or underneath signs, write sun, and we're going to listen to him talk about the sun.
Has already detected the interstellar shocks, the shock fronts from the galactic.
Hang on.
Has already detected.
Voyager.
Let's start from the outer solar system and move our way in. Voyager has already detected the interstellar shocks, the shock fronts from the galactic current sheet impacting the heliosphere and coming into the solar system.
He believes it's the current sheet, but I disagree. What we need out of this, though, is something is impacting the heliosphere. Voyager 1 that broke outside the heliosphere now, that's outside of our solar system, detected an impact on the sun's heliosphere. Okay, that's important. Okay, now he's going to give you the list, this list of 10, starting with Pluto. Now listen to what happened to Pluto.
Its atmospheric collapse, that was a big one of the last couple of years.
That is a big one. Pluto's atmosphere collapsed. Okay, so I want you to write down number 1, atmosphere collapse. Okay, most of you who have your list should have that as number 1 already. Okay, so Pluto had an atmosphere collapse. So that's a sign.
The story was that it had.
All right, come on.
And coming into the solar system. Pluto had its atmospheric collapse. That was a big one of the last couple of years. Neptune, big story was that it had its storm reversal, basically a hurricane going the wrong way after many storms had been studied on that planet, indicative of a systemic reversal.
Okay, so Neptune had storms going backwards. Okay, so I want you to write storm reversal which he said is indicative of a core reversal or some kind of planetary reversal, he said. Okay? So, a subnote on that is storm reversal due to core or planetary reversal. Okay? So, that was number 2. Back up so we don't miss a word.
Planet indicative of a systemic reversal. Uranus, like Neptune before it, has seen record storms, record aurora. Haven't seen one going the other way yet, but still major records set on Uranus.
Okay, he said on Uranus they had record storms and record aurora. Now write that down because that's something we're going to be dealing with tonight. All right, and we make 2 columns next to your top 10 list, going off to the right. One of Sun and one titled Earth. And in those columns, we're going to fill those in a little bit tonight. All right? So, let's continue.
Now, we have been able to see Saturn in telescopes for centuries, and they have known that there is a superstorm that hits the northern hemisphere every 30 years, except it just happened 10 years early, indicative of perhaps a magnetic change on the planet, allowing more incident radiation to come in and trigger that storm a little earlier.
All right, that was a lot. So let me dissect that real quick for you guys. I know I've done this before, but this is very important to where we're going and all these new revelations that I have for you guys. All right, so just bear with me. We have to do this.
We've been able to see Saturn in telescopes for centuries, and they have known that there is a superstorm that hits the northern hemisphere every 30 years, except it just happened 10 years early.
It happened 10 years early. A superstorm in the northern hemisphere happened 10 years early. It's out of calendar sequence. So for 3, write down, for 4, sorry, calendared superstorms happening early. Okay? That's number 4. Write down calendared superstorms in the northern hemisphere happening early.
Indicative of perhaps a magnetic change on the planet, allowing more incident radiation to come in and trigger that storm a little earlier.
Okay. The next one is 5, and that's penetrating radiation triggering storms early. Okay? So these are side effects that the other planets are seeing. This is your list of signs. Okay? So 5 is penetrating radiation causing or triggering storms early. Okay?
Had some of the most changes, incident radiation to come in and trigger that storm a little earlier. Jupiter's had some of the most changes of all. The big red spot started fading. Red Junior was born. Its cloud bands disappeared and then reappeared. Most importantly, its radio frequency is changing. And
okay, so for number 6, he was talking about the spot disappearing and reappearing. The spot is a storm. So for number 6, clouds and storms disappearing and reappearing. Okay, that's number 6. And we're doing this for all the people that missed the other night.
Electrons accelerated in its magnetic field, and since the nature of an electron didn't change, the nature of its magnetic field must have changed.
Wait.
Towards the inner solar system,
there's something else you said. Hang on.
Most importantly, its radio frequency is changing, and that is
okay. So Jupiter's radio frequency is changing as well. All right. So number 7, I want you to write down radio frequency change. Okay. That's what happened to Jupiter. It had clouds and storms disappearing and reappearing. It also experienced a radio frequency change. Okay. Now let's go back. Sorry, I got to do it this way.
Electrons accelerated in its magnetic field, and since the nature of an electron didn't change, the nature of its magnetic field must have changed.
All right, the nature of Jupiter's magnetic field changed, causing that radio frequency change. Okay, he just told you. He's telling you. He's admitting to this. All right.
As we're moving towards the inner solar system, We have also detected more interstellar pickup ions and energetic neutral atoms, two of the things that we would be expecting to come with the galactic current sheet. Mars climate changes dwarf those
Listen to this. Mars climate change has dwarfed Earth's.
on Earth, and its seismicity has been off the charts. We've been
Okay, seismicity's been off the charts, huh? So, number 8 should be seismicity off the charts because that's what Mars is experiencing, right? Seismicity off the charts. He said it's blowing Earth. There are
breaking records seismically there, and
breaking records seismically too. So, seismically off the charts, breaking records, okay? Something we saw in Turkey, hint, hint.
Of course, we also recently learned that its mantle is alive and active. And I don't.
What? Mars has a mantle that's now alive and active? Uh-oh. I want you to write down number 9 as mantle activity. Mantle's coming to life and becoming active. New mantle activity, because this is new. We didn't know Mars had a mantle, so this is new mantle activity, all right? That's number 9.
Missed that one before. I think that's a new feature.
Yeah, it's a new feature on Mars. Did you guys ever know this? Mars has a mantle and it's having activity now on Mars. That's pretty big.
Earth, obviously, we go over the changes here all the time, from the magnetosphere to the ionosphere to the atmosphere to the rotation change. Venus' fastest winds are 33% faster.
Venus's winds are 33% faster. So, number 10 should be increased winds by like a third, okay? Just right, increased winds is number 10. Now, I've had some amazing revelations tonight. I've discovered 11 and 12, and we will get to those later, so just leave room at the bottom of your list for 11 and 12, which I will fill in here later. So, we got our top 10 list, all right? Now, what I want to do with this top 10 list is I want to address this polar vortex, all right? What's going on here is the sun is kicking out a CME. This is like the solar wind, all right? This is ionized material. If this were to hit the Earth, it would cause an aurora, all right? This is an aurora being activated. It's above 55 degrees. It's in the auroral zone. It's spinning like an aurora. There's no outside source to feed the sun an aurora like it does on Earth, but the sun is feeding itself its own aurora. And that would be number, where did I say this? Oh, number 3, record storms and record aurora. Okay, record aurora on the planets. Well, now the sun is having this new effect. It's not new. It's happened before. Scientists are baffled or whatever. Well, they're baffled because they're not sure what's going on here. It's happened before, but they have no explanation. All right, well, I got your explanation coming right here real quick. This is an aurora on the sun, okay? Now, we have been experiencing auroras here on Earth, record auroras, right? So you can kind of check this one off because it's happening to our Earth and now it's happening to the sun. So on our list, you're going to be checking stuff off. So leave room for check marks. Now, as we focus on number 3, record storms, but mostly record aurora, okay? Here is a new record aurora happening on the sun, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and play this real quick. Let me back it up to the very beginning. And I want you guys to watch how this rotates around, okay? Just like it does on the Earth.
Why this occurs, but the behavior may be linked to the reversal of the sun's magnetic field.
A what?
For now,
This behavior might be the reversal of the sun's magnetic field, he just said. That's awesome.
There's nothing to be concerned about. As Dr. McIntosh says, these disturbances are more scientific curiosity than anything. And while solar activity is currently on the rise, there are no approaching solar storms and no enhanced aurora activity.
No enhanced aurora activity? Dude, yeah, it's right there. You're just expecting it on Earth. You just witnessed it on the sun, is all. Okay? So, a new revelation. This polar vortex is a solar aurora, just like we were expecting to see on our list, record aurora. Well, I would consider this a record aurora. Okay, it just didn't happen on Earth. It happened on the sun. That means the sun is experiencing the same side effects that we are. Something is affecting the sun, causing it to react just like our planets are. Okay, you guys got that? All right, cool. Hopefully you're taking notes, because these are huge revelations that every day it's more and more. I got 50 of them today, and I don't have time to cover it all, which gives me plenty of material from this whole next week. Okay, so now we have just witnessed a solar aurora. Now I want to go over here because I'm going to show you, if I can. How did I do that last time? Where'd it go? Oh, I need to zoom out, I think. That's what it is. Bear with me for a second. You guys are always patient with me, so thank you very much. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Now, I want you to look at this really quick, all right? This is our aurora. It rotates around the North Pole and the South Pole. They're a little offset right now because we're in a different season. We're in summer. It's hitting at a different angle, all right? But this is our auroras. They rotate around depending on the solar wind and what direction it's striking, okay? But this is in the zone. Now, I'm going to come over to, where to go? Did I erase it? I did. Anyways, there's a zone that's not over the pole, and it's about 55 degrees up. So 55 degrees in latitude and above is this little circle right around here. Let's see it. All right? And it goes below it sometimes, but this around 55 degrees is the aurora zone, and that's precisely where that filament shot up from and fed that zone. So I guarantee you what we saw on the sun is an aurora just fed by itself. It fed by the sun, fed its own aurora. You guys got that? All right, cool. Huge breakthrough there, okay? Whew. Now, where was I going with that? I wanted to show the other... Was it on this? No, it was a different link I had. Okay, so anyways, you guys grasp this concept. That's what we're seeing on the sun is an aurora event, which usually happens on Earth, is actually happening to the sun right now because of these side effects. All right, so we got that one covered and out of the way. What should we start while I start doing some explaining here? I can't believe that's all gone. Dang it. Anyways, it was very similar to this. We had a very faded spot, a couple of them today. There was a screech running up higher that kind of had a break in it. And during one of the breaks in that screech was when we had a break in the Schumann as well, which indicated another weakening of our Earth's magnetic field. And all the data was there. I know they just scrubbed it, so... Unfortunately, we won't stare at that one. We'll stare at, while I try to explain here some other stuff. Whatever. We'll just leave it right there for the moment. Okay, so now back to our list. Hopefully you guys are still with me on the list here. So, let's go. We dealt with number 3. So, record storms and record aurora. Okay, now you got your 2 columns to the right of that. There should be blank. One labeled sun and one labeled earth, right? So we can check this one off. We are seeing record storms on Earth and record aurora on Earth. Now we are seeing aurora on the sun. So in the sun column, I want you to write our new term, solar crown. Okay? That solar crown is a sign. Okay? It's an effect of outside influence on the sun. Okay? It's also a sign that the sun's core is doing a shimmy. Okay? Now, I have a subnote for solar crown. I was told two phrases. Where'd they go? Oh God, where'd it go? I wrote it down. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Um, oh dang it. Oh, so let me find my train of thought here again. So the storm reversal is going backwards. Oh, the solar crown is record aurora. Oh, it was okay, yeah. Let's go back to this image right quick. I need this image right here. Thank you for bearing with me, you guys. This is all so hard to keep up with, and these revelations are just amazing. I gotta do it just right so you guys convey the message. All right, here's our solar crown. Okay, it could be called a solar halo because it's spinning around or whatever, but it's a crown because what is a sun wearing a crown? It's a sign. Okay. The other phrase is a sun wearing a crown. So, who is a sun wearing a crown? Jesus, right? This is a sign right here. The sun wearing a crown. What is the sun doing wearing a crown, or a sun wearing a crown? Okay? It's biblical right there. That's telling you, that's a little hint that God uses. Look, the sun is wearing a crown. Get it? Good. That was just a subnote. Now back to our list. So, as we're going yesterday, I want to go backwards up the list as side effects to look for on the Earth, or are we seeing them already? Okay, so let's start with number 10. It was increased wind, okay? Yes, we are seeing increased winds on our Earth with our tornadic activity. Russia got blasted. We have these derechos now. The hurricanes have picked up. That's what we're talking about by increased wind. Straight line winds. Increased wind by about 33% is what we should expect, okay? Understand? Now let's go up to number 9, mantle activity. Oh, wait. Back to 10. So increased winds on the Earth looks like all the things I just described. But what would increased winds on the sun look like? Well, increased winds on the sun would be the solar wind, right? And we are seeing high velocities coming out of the solar wind. But that's not all. What was the other part? Increased wind, solar. What's the solar? Where did I put solar wind? I wrote it over here. Hang on, you guys. Alright. Never mind. Okay, so let's go continue on with the list. I'm sorry, I got lost in my notes. You guys are so patient with me. Thank you so much. Such a late hour, too. So, we were going up the list. Increased winds. What would happen on increased winds on the sun? Well, I believe that would be increased solar winds. All right. Now let's go up to mantle activity. We're seeing new mantle activity on Mars. We're also seeing mantle activity, new mantle activity on the Earth because the core is now rotating backwards. All right. So we're seeing new mantle activity. But what would new mantle activity look like on the sun, say if its core slowed and reversed? Well, that mantle activity on the sun would be those layers rotating at different speeds and in different directions, causing the magnetic field lines of the to go haywire and reverse. Okay, so that's what I've been showing you on these instruments is Earth's magnetic field lines going haywire and reversing and spitting out what are electromagnetic pulses, or like CMEs. It would be an EMP for the Earth. It would be a CME for the Sun. Okay, you guys are getting this. Hopefully you're understanding this. Okay, well, I got so many notes crammed into one little piece of paper, so back to where I was at. So the effects, what would they look like on the Earth versus what they would look like on the Sun? So mantle activity on the Sun would cause, disruptions, those squeaks, okay, that we're hearing. It would also cause the magnetic field lines to go haywire. It would also show up as activity on the Schumann, and that's some of the stuff we see on the Schumann. Okay, now up to number 8, because we're working backwards up to number 8. Seismicity off the charts. Okay, yeah, here comes the good part. So the seismicity off the charts is what they were seeing on one of the planets. I think it was whatever. Right. Doesn't matter. So seismicity off the charts. Well, we're seeing seismicity off the charts on the Earth with that earthquake in Turkey, all right? That's an unusual event. Those aren't just aftershocks. Those are all earthquakes. And I saw a report today. I was expecting maybe some volcanic activity, and sure enough, there's some mud flow out of the volcano that's like the nearest volcano to the epicenter there in Turkey. I would look up the article, but you guys can go. I'm sure you may have heard of it. It's out there. There's a volcano that erupted mud or something like that right next to the epicenter. So that is the seismicity off the charts. Okay, now what would seismicity off the charts look like on the Sun? What would seismic a sunquake? Okay, let's label it a sunquake. What would a sunquake look like on the Sun? Well, it would produce an X flare without a CME squirting out. Wait a second, we just witnessed 2 of those in the last couple weeks, didn't we? An X flare without a CME. So that would be a sign of a sunquake. Get it? It has a quake on the surface or internally, yet doesn't spit out a CME. It's an X flare. It's like a static discharge almost, okay? All right, you guys are getting this now, all right? Or at least I'm getting it, and I'm trying to explain it to you so you get it. I know this is boring, nothing to look at, but this is important stuff. So, where are we? So we left off the seismic activity off the charts. So sunquakes, we're experiencing sunquakes, folks. Those are the X flares without a CME. Okay, and we just had one the other day. Now, pretty cool, huh? You guys figuring this stuff out? These revelations making sense to you guys yet? Somebody give me a thumbs up in the chat. Is this making sense to you guys yet? Anybody alive out there? Leave a comment in the comment section later. Let's move on. I'll take your silence as shock. 7, radio frequency change. Yes, we have seen the radio frequency change on Earth in the Schumann resonance, right? I showed you that. But what would the radio frequency change on the Sun look like? When the Sun's radio frequency changed, because he said the Sun's radio frequency had changed. So what would that look like? Well, it would be, let me flip my notes over. Weakening or strengthening of, where did I go? Or blinking and dimming of the Sun. Okay, sorry about that. So, radio frequency change on the Sun is going to cause blinking or dimming in the Sun. I think we've been recording some of that, haven't we, folks? Blinking and dimming in the Sun, which is weakening or strength change in the Sun. Okay, so you'll see a change in the Sun. It'll either get weak or strong. It'll either get what? We were just seeing this thing flatline and then get strong. So now we're seeing weak and strong in the sun, just like we saw in the other planets as our signs. So these are signs in the sun. You guys getting this? Signs in the sun, baby. Let me take a drink. Oh, boy, this is not easy. Okay. The radio frequency is the Schumann. The radio frequency change in the Earth would be witnessed on the Schumann. The radio frequency change on the sun would be this right here. Okay. And we've discovered that that's what these things are truly reading, are the sun's, magnetosphere. It's Schumann resonance. This is the sun's Schumann, okay? Now, I'm glad I wrote all this down because it's just so much. Now, we're going up to number 6. Clouds disappearing and reappearing, or storms disappearing and reappearing, okay? So, storms disappearing and reappearing on the Earth. We've seen some of these storms just flare up out of nowhere and get all intense, and other ones that looked all intense just peter out. So we've seen that on the Earth. You can check that off. Should be checking all this stuff off. So the clouds disappearing and reappearing. So storms disappearing and reappearing on Earth. What would that look like on the sun? Well, storms disappearing and reappearing on the sun. Well, what's a storm on the sun? What's a storm on the sun? It's a... No. Wrong instrument, you turkey. Go back. What's a storm on the sun? Oh, yeah. A sunspot. Yep. These would be storms, technically, like on Earth, but on the sun. These are storms, okay? And what did it say about the storms? Disappearing and reappearing. All of a sudden, we're having sunspots appearing. We're having other ones that come across real strong and peter out. Other ones that aren't even there that get strong. All right, so the storms disappearing and reappearing is the sunspots on the sun. You guys got it? All right. I should get a Nobel Prize for this stuff, but somebody else will take credit, I'm sure. Anyways, now that's what this would look like on the sun. The new storms and storms disappearing and reappearing like they were on Jupiter. I mean, this is normal activity. Sunspots appear and disappear on the sun. That's how they work on the sun. But a massive amount of them, bigger ones that are doing it a little differently than they used to, okay? And that's what we're witnessing here with our sunspots. Our sunspots are the storms disappearing and reappearing on the sun. Okay, yay, you guys getting this. Let's go up to 5. Penetrating radiation triggering early storms. Okay, so what would that look like on the Earth? Well, the penetrating radiation triggering early storms we've already witnessed. You know, it's these intense storms that we're getting, the early hurricane season. That's an early storm. What's the tornado season? Early tornado season. Long tornado season. Okay, it's going outside its normal realm, its normal time frame, okay? And that goes under calendar superstorms as well. Okay, that's the next one up. So penetrating radiation is triggering early storms on the Earth, which I just described. Now, what would penetrating radiation triggering storms on the sun look like? Kind of like that polar crown, these intense sunspots all over the backside, all over the other side. That's what it would look like, okay? Just a big uptick in it, all right? Now, as we transition up to the calendared superstorms, the sunspots, these calendared events are off the charts. Where did that one go now? Think, Brian, where is that one? Is it this? No, but look at the sun's magnetic field. It's no longer a bubble right now like it should be up here. It's gone haywire like that, all right? So there's that. Where was that instrument? Please bear with me. I had an instrument that's going to show me something. Um, where were we? Maybe I should just cut it short here before I lose focus. That's a lot for you guys to chew on right now, anyways. Calendar superstorms happening early. Record storms, record aurora. What was the sub note for that? Oh, guys, I'm sorry, I got lost in my notes. Calendar superstorms triggering storms. What would that look like on the sun? Oh, yeah, I need to find that instrument. No. We're just gonna experiment around until I find it. Nope. Come on, where is it? No, I know it's on this thing somewhere. Bear with me, you guys. Nope. Oh, dang it. You guys are so patient with me. I wish I could find it. I'm looking for this one chart that was showing it going off the charts because it's important. It's totally... Oh, no, it's... Yes! There it is! Okay, you guys. This is our solar cycle, okay? Here's solar maximum. We are above solar maximum way early, okay? That is the early calendared superstorms happening early. Calendared superstorms happening early. That's what this is indicating, okay? You guys get that? It's more than just what this little chart's reading. This thing is going through the roof. If you follow this new line, it's going to go up like that. All right? It's going to go off the chart. It's climbing like this. If we made adjustments for this latest pin, it's going to go up over the page like that. All right? And I would call that early and off the charts. Okay? You guys seeing this? You understand what I'm explaining to you guys? All these instruments are indicating that this is true, okay? And that's what's happening. Whew, thank God I found that one. All right. Record storms and record aurora, we already covered. That's number 3. You saw the solar crown, and the subnote was the sun wearing a crown or a sun wearing a crown. Storm reversal, that is one that we cannot check off the list. Okay, we have not really seen storms going backwards yet. I think before they go backwards, we will see them slow and linger first before they start turning the other direction. So we would see a slowing first before a storm reversal, but we're not seeing any of that quite yet, I don't think. What was the other one? Early max. Yes, triggering early max we just covered. Okay. Yes, we are knocking them out. So let's leave storm reversal alone for now because we haven't seen that yet on the Earth or on the Sun. All right? Now let's move up to atmosphere collapse. I thought these were two things that we were going to leave blank, but now that we look at atmosphere collapse, I'm going to no, we'll just leave it here because I need this instrument some more. Atmosphere collapse. Okay, so on the Earth, let's do the sun first. Okay, so atmosphere collapse. What would atmosphere collapse on the sun look like? Well, let's go over to the sun for a minute and study the sun for a second. What is the sun's atmosphere? Because it does have an atmosphere, it's called the corona. Okay, right? You guys understand technically, the sun's atmosphere would be the corona, all right? So, if we were to see atmosphere collapse in the sun, what would that look like? Well, it would be a coronal hole. Ta-da! A coronal hole is a sign of atmosphere collapse on the sun, right? Because the atmosphere has a hole in it, right? Now, what would atmosphere collapse look like on the Earth? Well, a hole in our atmosphere. Wait, don't we have one on the North Pole and one on the South Pole? And don't we have one kind of over South America here? Whoa, 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 whoa. Where this thing's been hitting a lot lately? There's that atmospheric hole over South America. So we need to start checking that off. That was going to be the last thing on the list to see, but we're already experiencing that, okay? So we're already seeing signs of atmosphere collapse on the sun and on the earth, okay? What would that look like? Well, it would trigger coronal holes, which also spew solar wind. Weakening or, well, no. Where's my back notes on that? Hang on. So atmosphere collapse, the coronal hole. Yeah. All right. So another side effect from atmosphere collapse on the sun would be blinking and dimming. We already got that written down somewhere else, but atmosphere collapse on the sun would look like blinking and dimming and coronal holes. Okay? Those are atmospheric holes in the sun. And they haven't been there forever. That's kind of a new feature that happened since, all this stuff started going on, right? So all these things are correlating together. We're having coronal holes. We're having core grindage causing those sounds in the sky. We're having all kinds of stuff. Now, do we have enough time to go into our 11 and 12? Did I cover everything thoroughly? Yeah, I think so. I think I covered everything thoroughly there as far as what to expect out of the sun and what to expect out of the earth and what we're actually seeing on the instruments and we're witnessing taking place on the sun and on the earth. Okay? The only thing we haven't seen out of our whole list is number 2. Okay? And number 1, when you see atmosphere collapse, the atmosphere collapsed totally on Pluto. Okay? So that will be the final thing, is when the atmosphere totally collapses and disappears. All right? And we're on our way towards it. Wait until we start seeing storm reversal, and that whole list will be completed. Okay? It's only missing one thing, storm reversal, right? We checked off a bunch of stuff both on the sun and the earth. We checked off everything both on the sun and earth, right? Except for storm reversal. And then what would storm reversal look like on the planet? Well, that would be hurricanes going backwards, like they said happened on the other planet, right? It would be storms going backwards on our planet, coming out of the east and going west, right? Jet streams, everything flowing backwards, right? So what would storm reversal look like on the sun? Well, the storms on the sun are the sunspots. So storm reversal would be sunspot reversal. The sunspots moving backwards across the face of the sun. I know it sounds impossible, but all these other things sounded impossible and are true. The last remaining thing to see would be that. So guess what to expect to see? You will see storm reversal here on Earth, and you will know when you see sunspots moving backwards on the sun as well. because its core looks like it's going to grind to a halt. I don't know if it'll reverse, because that would take an outside influence. And the sun's magnetic field is about to reverse, not its core necessarily, possibly, but its magnetic field. I show you the plot is destined to do it here real soon. That polar crown is showing the disruptions, indicating the sun is about to do its magnetic flip. And I believe this time it's going to drag the Earth into its magnetic flip, since our magnetic field is weak and down and low. Okay? Boy, that's a lot. All right. Maybe I should save 11 and 12. No, I can't. I have to keep moving forward because I might not be alive tomorrow. So I got to get this stuff out of here now. So now that you've gotten all your top 10 and your side effects and your list and stuff, let's go down and write number 11, which is going to be static discharge. Okay, that would be expected when we have an overcharged planet that's kicking out. Oh, I didn't even do the field lines thing. Oh. Let me pull this up real quick. So it'd be kicking out, like our field lines are kicking out those pulses, those EMPs. Okay, it's actually more than that, and we're going to get into that too. But so static discharge is what we're kind of seeing, or a side effect that we should look for, okay? Because that would be a side effect from the core stopping. You stop a motor, sometimes a spark jumps out. Let me get my SWA going here. Oh, come on. So you would see, I'm expecting to see some kind of static discharge, and we see it on the Earth already as the upward lightning that I showed you briefly in one video, and that's what it would look like on the Earth. Also, I got a new thing for you guys. We are seeing, I need to get this pulled up so you will comprehend this. We have to have an example showing so you can see. Yes, load up please, just anything. Okay, so static discharge, now we'll go into that later. Write number 12 down, and this is the scary one, guys. Number 12 is gamma ray burst, okay? So, when you start doing stuff like this to the sun, it's going to react. See, if the sun's core stops, it doesn't reverse, but it stops, the sun would stop shining, it would dim, it would flicker, and it could possibly cough out a big old lightning bolt, okay? That would be a static discharge coming out of the sun in the form of a lightning bolt called a gamma ray burst, okay? We're talking about a CME that's beyond X class. It's in Z class. It's a gamma ray burst from the sun that could just shoot a huge, massive lightning bolt at the planet. Now, subnotes on that, guess what? Subnotes on this has already starting happening. It would, all right, if a lightning bolt, a supersonic lightning bolt coming off the sun, striking the Earth, would carve a valley in the crust, much like the one on Mars. In fact, these guys that were theorizing that thing on Mars could be caused by a plasma conduit and a lightning bolt, giant lightning bolt. That's what it's called, is a plasma conduit. So a plasma conduit that struck Mars, leaving a huge canyon on it, also struck Earth previously and left the Grand Canyon here. So I am expecting to see a gamma ray burst come out of the sun, striking the Earth, carving canyons the size of the ones on Mars, ripping the atmosphere away. Oh, what? I didn't mean to say that part. Well, I did. I didn't mean to scare you with that part. That's what I should say. Yeah, then, oh, here's the real scary part now. So, let's say we have a gamma ray burst out of the sun that strikes Earth like it did Mars. It carves a canyon, rips away the atmosphere, or possibly blowing up the Earth like Veda or whatever planet you want to call it that was between Mars and Jupiter that is now the asteroid belt. This thing came in before, hit Mars, carved that canyon. It hit Earth, carved our canyon. It hit Veda and blew it up and turned it into a friggin' asteroid belt, you guys. So that is something that could possibly happen to our planet. And if that happened, it would blow up the planet, leaving the core to orbit the sun like the cores that we see and like the ones that orbit Nemesis and our sun. You guys get this? This is a class on astrophysics beyond what they teach. Okay? I am breaking new ground for you guys and spelling it out the best way I can for you. This is huge. This should be Pulitzer, but I'm sure somebody else has figured this out in DARPA or whatever. We're not allowed to know. Yes, micronova. Micronova, well, shit, that would be the sun blowing up like Veda. Okay? So imagine a giant lightning bolt coming out of, I can show you the object that's going to do it to the sun. I've already showed you that object several times. It's the one that happened on September 10th of 2017. Nemesis, okay? Fuck, I'll pull it up right now. Oh, pardon my French. I haven't cussed in a while. Let's pull it up. You can tell my frustration level when I start cussing. All right. What am I looking for again? Nemesis. We'll go here. We'll go. Where did I do it? It was this one. This is where all my material is on live now. You guys that are new to my channel, you can go look at the videos and stuff, but all my latest work is all over here. The latest thing on videos is old. All right. I'm looking for Nibiru. I'm looking for where to go. It's right there. Bingo. All right. You guys have been very patient. Thank you. This is very important. So, all right, we'll leave it right there. Zoom in on it for you. And there you go, folks. Nibiru. That's the real deal right there. Okay. This is a rendition. Okay. It's this object right here. This happened September 10th, 2017. I've been showing you guys this over and over again. This object is bigger than the sun. It's the thing that's affecting the sun. It could be these planetary waves. It could be the current sheet. It could be all these things. But we also have this thing as well. Okay? So I'm not saying it's just this. All right? But we do have this. This is affecting our sun. Okay? That could possibly cause the supernova, or the sun to supernova, and it might blow up, leaving a core like this is. This is a core of a star that's burned out. Same with Nibiru in front of it. These are stellar cores, which are planetary cores as well as stellar cores, as well as this core of a star. Okay? This core is very big. The star that this came from was much bigger than our sun, our binary twin probably, okay? And when it destroyed the planet rotating around it, it left a core, which is Nibiru, rotating around Nemesis. We have our own small cores that are rotating around our sun that I've been showing you on seeds this whole time for years, okay? That's what those are, our little stellar cores. We've probably been through this so many times that we have one of these cores is probably the core of Veda, all right, that's shattered, all right? This little celestial object might be the stellar core that's left over from that, okay? You guys seeing this now? Oh, boy. Okay, now, I can't believe I'm doing this all in one video. I should have broke this up into 2 weeks worth of stuff for you guys, but I can't risk that. So that would just be looking for more views. The information is more important. Information is way more important right now. So now back to this right here. Okay, we are seeing these electromagnetic pulses coming out of the earth, right? These are also the earth is supercharged, it's overcharged, it's spitting out excess charge in the form of static discharge, lightning bolts, and gamma ray bursts. These are gamma ray bursts. Our earth is emitting gamma rays. I don't know what they're not telling you or what, but I'm telling you, our Earth is emitting gamma rays, you guys. I need some kind of instrumentation, something to measure gamma rays coming off the surface of the Earth. It's like the most crucial instrument we could possibly have at this very moment right now. Any Geiger counters or something like that. Calm down. So, our Earth is spitting out gamma ray bursts. That's what these are. These are electromagnetic pulses in the form of gamma ray bursts coming off of our planet. It's because of the magnetosphere inside the dynamo is changing, okay? The dynamo in the sun is changing. You see the sun kicking out gamma ray bursts. Do you really think the sun isn't going to kick out one? It's definitely going to kick out one. I'm sorry. I believe it's definitely going to kick out one. This tells me, and we're seeing 12, 13 of these at a time. I'm not even going to report on the field lines today. This is just an example. Okay, that's enough for tonight. I can't move. I can't do anymore. Because there's more. But that was a lot for one night. You guys got your list. I hope you were taking notes. Thank you very much. Good stuff, Brian. All right, thank you very much. It's been mind-numbing. It's so hard mentally to do this, especially when I'm in excruciating pain. I'm going through quite the trial. Physical, emotional, and spiritual, all three at the same time. And being able to pull this off. Focusing on this stuff is not easy. All right, let me just stop complaining and get back to my work. Voyager detected the shockwave. Voyager detected something impacting the heliosphere. Okay? That's definite proof something is impacting the heliosphere. Whether it's the current sheet, which could possibly be, I disagree with him because I know there's a spiritual element tied to this. But here's our influencer. Waves coming in, like Mike said. This could be producing the waves when it's coming back in. All right, this is like a black hole. All right, it's a stellar core so dense that it bends and absorbs light. Here's our plasma conduit. I described this many a times now. You're seeing a plasma conduit come off the sun and touch another planet. That shows you the sun can spit out a plasma conduit and hit another object out there. All right, I better stop. I'm losing it, and I got people sleeping. So that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for enduring all this. You've been so patient with me, and hopefully this has been enlightening to you guys. This is vital information. Please share this with your friends, your family. This is of the utmost importance. Quit watching the news and getting distracted by politics and balloons. Those balloons are coming down because solar forcing. This thing is acting on the Earth's atmosphere, shoving high altitude balloons down to lower altitudes. Those balloons have been up there doing their thing for a long time. You're just finding out about it because the sun is reacting, causing the Earth to react and shove those balloons to a lower altitude. Regardless of what the balloons are, hey, that's great. They're going to lie to you. You're taking their word from it. Excuse me, the media that lied to you for 4 years, that stole an election, that lies to you constantly, you're going to take their word? You better start trusting me, folks, instead of those clowns. Drop them like a bad habit. Come over here and get some truth. Learn something and share it with others. Please. Please, okay? Share it with others. Hopefully they can explain this and write their list down. You guys know what to look for now. I gave you a list. You're seeing side effects. Expect to see more, okay? The top of your list should be titled signs, because everything I gave you are signs. Signs in the sun, signs in the earth, signs that we're told to look for in the Bible. And I just gave you a list beyond a list to look for, okay? Now, if any of you guys are catching on here and you come up with another thing to look for that belongs on this list that I missed, if you see storm reversal somewhere besides, the planet that happened on Jupiter, if you see signs of storm reversal or slowing here on Earth, please point it out to me. If you see signs of storm reversal on the sun, or you think you have an idea of what to look for or what direction, please send it to me. Okay? We're filling in gaps now, baby. We're connecting dots, everybody. This picture isn't just for me, it's for you too. So let's connect these dots and get the big picture. That's it for tonight, you guys. Thank you so much. I love you all. God bless you all. And remember, there's a sun wearing a crown. Okay? God bless you all. Until my next video, bye.